Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. This is the first live stream that we've had in quite a while. We also haven't had any videos coming out in the last couple of days. It was Christmas. We took a little bit of impromptu vacation. I sort of told myself that I would be coming into the studio during that time, but I don't know. Family was visiting and ended up not doing a lot of stuff here in the studio. But it was a good break. It was a good break that I think both Mike and I definitely liked having. And now that we're well rested, we're back here coming in hot with another new Lego Star Wars set. This is going to be the first review. We're actually, the rest of this week, we're going to focus on the AT-ATs and the AT-ACTs, those giant builds that Mike was working on a couple weeks ago. We have all those parts now. Everything's organized out, and we're going to be starting up and hopefully finishing off both of those giant walkers by the end of this week with light-up functions, which is going to be awesome. So I'm starting off the week with this set, and normally I don't judge a set by its cover, but I'm judging this set by its cover. In fact, the thumbnail for this set is a little bit, I switched this thing on the thing to upside down a little bit on the thumbnail. I don't know. I already know I'm not going to like it just because of what this set is. It's a set that they shouldn't have made, and I think most people might agree. also. So anyways, this is the first order ATST set. It's 370 pieces, recommended for ages 8 to 14. It comes with Captain Phasma, Finn, and Rose, and BB-8. Yeah, so now generally, yeah, I know you guys are still crazy on the whole spoiler thing. At this point, are we focusing on spoilers still, Mike? We said we were eventually going to not care about it. Yeah, this set in itself is kind of a spoiler. That's why they actually kept this one sort of under wraps compared to the rest of the releases. Until basically all the sets were on the shelves, nobody even knew what this was.
A bit more baggy about spoilers.
Yeah,
it's been a while, you know?
Right. We're not going to get all crazy about spoilers, guys. The internet is a risky place to go on, and this movie has been out for like...
Want to see the spoilers, just don't go on the internet.
Yeah. At this point, we're not going to care about spoilers. If somebody's being really malicious, I still will ban you if you're just being malicious in chat in general. But for the most part, I'm not going to get into anything more than I need to get into with the movie in order to talk about what the heck the context of this set is, because this isn't what it says it is exactly. First order ATST. It's not a complete ATST. That's the thing. And that's kind of the reason why this set is a little bit redundant and probably should not have ever been made. But anyways, I'm going to switch down to the lower... Switching down to this lower section. Oh yeah, we still have that image of the ghost down there. Actually, this camera's kind of out of whack. I'm going to move that out of the way. Alright. Don't really need it. Yeah, we finished the ghost. Also, I'm going to be doing a ghost video, and we've got some other cool custom build videos coming out this week, next week, and the week after that. So we're going to have some really cool new custom mock videos that we're super excited about. Boom. Yeah, if people are trying to be malicious with spoilers, then yeah, they still deserve to be banned. Generally, like, I don't think it's as sensitive an issue now. Everybody's had a bit of a break. A lot of people are still on a winter break. It's permeated every aspect of internet culture, so it's like, we're not going to be super crazy about it, but yeah, if people are intentionally being malicious, then boom, they're still going to be out. But anyways, bag 1, bag 2, bag 3. The set is $40, being at 370 pieces, with technically 4 minifigs. It's hard. I don't usually like to count BB-8 as a minifigure. And if you compare this, I'm going to say right off the bat, if you compare this to the Rogue One ATST, oh my gosh, the Rogue One ATST is such a better deal, especially in the States when you come to the price point. Because they're both the Rogue One ATST. This is the Rogue One ATST. I'll be doing a comparison. This came with 3 minifigs and was the same exact price, and I think it came with cooler minifigs. So yeah, I am building a set that I'm sort of predetermined not to like that much, but anyways, it's worth building, I guess, and it's, you know, we're going to be going through all the new Last Jedi sets regardless, so we're building it. And hello everybody, hello. This is 55 pounds in the UK. No way. The previous one was 44 pounds in the UK. Yeah, it's everything about this set is not as good. Everything about it, as far in terms of price point, the minifigs that you get are not as cool as the previous ATST. And oh yeah, there's Phasma's cape. I brought the old Phasma out too, just to test. I know the other two, Finn and Rose, are going to be exclusive. I already know that. The stuff that they're wearing in this particular scene doesn't come out in any other set, and probably never will. So yeah, I will be doing a comparison between the two Phasmas though, because I am curious to see if they're probably going to give her a face. That's my guess. Oh wait, what? They're not even going to give her a face? Okay, whatever. Because I can see the black minifigure head, the solid black minifigure head, which is what Phasma... Yeah, Phasma doesn't have a face this time again. That's disappointing. Okay.
It's funny because I think you can see her eye.
You can see her... Yeah. There's a part where her face partially gets revealed in this scene, so I was thinking that they might actually have a minifigure print for her, which kind of would make sense, but doesn't look like they did it. So anyways, that's that. Okay, yeah. This is going to go down first on the back, and then you fold it over. I do like the cape piece. This is a good cape piece. And from the detailing, yeah, it's the exact same print. Nothing about Phasma has changed as a minifigure. The only thing that's changed about her is that she comes with a spiky thing this time. So Phasma is here like this. She's got her... I do like the lighter colored blaster rifle. It's like still a really rare color for the blaster rifle. I think you can only get it this light in the sort of metallic silvery. The Rebels have it in a sort of darker metallic color. I'm like looking at the old one and the new one. Yep, it's the exact same print. Nothing's changed. Which in a certain sense actually kind of makes sense. Wait a second. Wait, did they change the printing on the helmet? I can't tell if that's like just a deviation for the mold. There is this weird little deviation. No, I think my mold is just a little bit messed up for this particular Phasma. No, it's the same one. All right, yeah, it's the same. So there's, I'll still keep them separate from each other. So not an exclusive fig, which is whatever. I mean, sorry to start off another live stream, having been gone for so long with a set that I already knew I was going to be kind of like moot about. Boom. You like earthworms? Can we see? Oh, you want to see the difference? I'll show you guys the difference between the. Oh, let me switch it to here. I'll show you guys the difference between the two Phasma helmets. I think it's a problem with the mold on the helmet, because every other detail is exact. So let me zoom the camera in and show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so I don't even know if you can see the difference. So new Phasma is holding the spear, old Phasma isn't, and the deviation's right by the nose and the eyes. So you can see how the helmet has that little pointy bit, like right on where the nose would be, I guess, for this helmet. This new one here has like kind of a point, and there's a couple like little lines, but that's just a mold problem. Because if you look at the rest of the details, everything's exact. Everything about it is totally exact. Hold on, I'm getting a thing that wants to restart my computer. Okay, haha, I avoided that. All right, let's zoom this back out. So that's the difference there. It's just a mold problem. Boom. All right, let's actually get this thing started. We're first building up this thing. We're still building it. It's like a little raising and lowering platform. Does Level Cap still do BrickVault? I mean, he doesn't show up in the videos really anymore, but he is still very much a part of the BrickVault team. I mean, he had a huge part to play in the design of the Ghost that we were live streaming a bunch the last couple of weeks. So yeah, he's still in it. He's just, you don't see him doing or appearing on the videos as much anymore. Okay. The helmet is different. The helmet looks. I want to look at the to see if that is supposed to be intentionally different. Yeah, the helmet looks slightly different, but only right in that one little center spot. Everything else is exactly the same. Greetings for Mike. Everybody's saying hello to Mike. Mike says hello. Yeah, even this little platform piece that we're building up right now, I don't think looks that good either. It's kind of like a just, it's not terrible, it's just kind of basic. Minecraft will be getting turtles. Is that right? I haven't actually... I remember taking a look at the new Minecraft sets and liking them. I liked a bunch of the small sets. I thought that was kind of a cool idea. Making things a lot more accessible. I think part of that was they released a lot of really big Minecraft sets the year before, and they're like, all right, the cave and like some pretty large ones were coming out, and they're like, okay, let's bring this back. And they produced a lot of smaller sets for this next release, I think, which was really cool. cool on their part. I can't wait to build those Minecraft sets. I think they're actually, like I've said it a bunch of times, but I think the Minecraft line in general just does what they're supposed to do pretty well in terms of honoring the IP and everything, and the general quality of the builds. I don't even like playing Minecraft. I mean, like, I don't play Minecraft. It's not that I don't like to play Minecraft. I just simply don't play it. But I actually like the Lego sets that come from it pretty much all the time. What the heck is up with these? Whoa. Whoa, I'm like way back in the... How do I get to the... I must have accidentally zoomed on the... If you hit the scroll wheel like even a little bit on the chat, then it'll not update your chat stuff until you go back into it, which is super annoying. Sorry guys, I didn't see any of those new questions. Have I seen the new Star Wars movie? Yes, I have seen it. Mike and I saw it like the day after opening day, I think. Yeah, and it's a movie. It's a movie. Things happen. It's still a little fresh. Like, I'm not going to be talking about the movie at a certain point, and then maybe at some point when we feel like talking about the movie in like sometime we'll put up like a spoiler warning or something, just like that. As we talk, we might be talking about the Star Wars movie. I don't know. Right now, we're not talking about it, just because there's still a certain amount of people that haven't gotten around to seeing it. But at a certain point, it's like, if you really, the internet is the internet, and if you're going on to a live forum, especially a forum that's about Star Wars content, live, there's a good chance that you're just going to be exposed to it regardless, and there isn't anything that we as creators can really do 100% to protect you guys. So, sorry. Yeah, eventually we are gonna get back into Star Wars content, because Mike and I have exhausted the subject. We've gone through like every aspect of the. We've talked so much about it, just being like, why this, why that, why. Yeah. So eventually we'll get into it. The movie was ironic a lot. I don't know if I got that impression so much, but Shark Pig Studios. Yeah, we're not going to spoil it, but once again, if people in the chat are, I mean, we ban like crazy, but like you eventually do get exposed to spoilers. Boom! Just a kid that rants. Hello, long time no see. We just got a super chat from ya. What an embarrassment. ... Yeah, you know what? Something I feel like that's not a surprise coming from you, knowing your content. Yeah, a lot of people are disappointed. You share that sentiment, obviously. There is some disappointment on our end as well. As were, I think, a lot of fans. It just depends. Some people were kind of into it. I think a lot of what gets people disappointed is they're sort of expecting a certain type of movie, and then they don't get that type of movie. And then you're like, yeah, dude, like, remember, like, it is still like a Disney movie, and Disney has it, and they're doing with it what they want. So you're never gonna get like the old Star Wars back. But I did see a thing, because Mark Hamill was kind of negative about it for a while, and then he actually made a statement the other day being like, I feel really bad for like being so openly negative about what I felt about the movie. He came out the other day saying how he thought it was sort of wrong of him to have sort of been so open about all the things he disagreed with the movie, because Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, was kind of the actor was not as happy with the way the film came out. So, and then I think that was also it was whatchamacallit. It was it acted as sort of justification for a lot of other fans to kind of come out and be like, it really was bad. But I don't know. Most people I know had a good time watching it. Like, that's the thing, is like it still is really entertaining for a lot of the movie is still really entertaining. So, you know, part of it is it's like, you know, some people might just take it a bit serious. Never leave Disney to their own devices. Well, what was interesting is what Disney did is they left Ryan, what's his name, to his own devices. Because the initial criticism from the first movie was that it was a committee movie, that it was, you know, The Force Awakens was made by a committee being like, okay, let's just be super friendly to the fans and like take zero risks and just make the movie like super basic and like very similar to A New Hope and all that stuff. And then a lot of people sort of panned it and were like, hey, you should have taken some risks with it. And they were like, okay, let's do that with Rian Johnson. And they let him completely write and direct the whole thing. And then people kind of went, whoa, this is a little bit too different. So I don't know. There is going to be no pleasing the fans, but at a certain point we will talk about all the crazy logistics of what the heck happened in that movie. Do you believe Chewbacca will be the new U.S. president? What? Okay. The thing I don't like about The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi is that there are new versions of old vehicles. Yeah, I mean, you kind of knew that they were going to go that direction. I mean, think about it this way. If you think Lucas was doing the new movies, he'd probably have newer versions of old vehicles too. Like, I think that was going to happen no matter what at a certain point. It was like that was just sort of an inevitability. Like, they were just going to do that. So that's not the most disappointing. I think what I didn't like, well, in the vehicle aspect, is like I don't think a lot of the new vehicles are actually that good. It just depends. It just depends. It's everybody at a certain point. It just turns into your own sort of personal aesthetic. This particular thing that we're building right now, I think there's some pretty clear reasons why it's actually not going to be the greatest set. In fact, I'm confident that this set is gonna be one of those notorious sets that people kind of remember for being bad. That's what I think this set is going to be. People are going to remember this for the wrong reasons, or just not for the wrong necessarily. They're going to remember it for negative reasons. So that's something. This is, you know, there's sets that people straight up just forget. People aren't going to forget this one. Yeah. So you can say what you want, but I think the case is pretty strong as to why this is not a very good set. And we're usually pretty, at the end of the day, it's not going to bend me out of shape or anything. You know, sometimes Lego just makes sets, and it might not even be Lego's fault too, because Lego has made mistakes with Star Wars. They've made mistakes with Star Wars sets before in the past, or other sets. There was that Mandarin set with Iron Man, where Iron Man is fighting the Mandarin in this weird vehicle, and it never happened in the movie, even though it was a set based on a particular thing in the movie. So that was weird. It didn't make any sense. But at the end of the day, it's like the art team gets production images. They get things that people are just working on, and they don't actually know what all of it is. So it's possible that when the designers were putting this particular build together, they weren't totally aware of what it was. But at the end of the day, they must, whoever was in the very top, whoever was like really doing like final decision on what the actual content of the Last Jedi sets were, somebody did probably know what it was that we were building here, and they approved it, and that was kind of like, it just feels silly. This is going to be easily the least, whoa, what the heck, easily the worst set of the wave, and probably one of the worst. It's probably going to already win for worst Star Wars set of the year. Mike's.
Yeah, I had the same feelings about this set when I saw it.
Yeah.
The first initial impression was like, why?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I was like,
well, I didn't know what it was when I first saw it.
You saw it before you saw the movie.
Yeah.
I saw it after I saw the movie, so
So yeah, I saw
mean,
this
the
before the
context,
movie.
I saw it after, I was like, why?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
The scene
We're
was
building
cool,
up the
but
head.
it's like,
Advice for small Lego channel. Advice: make content that you like to make. It's not necessarily specific to a Lego channel, but it should work for any channel. Make content that you like to make. Try to make it better. Try to make it better. Try to make it better. And I don't know, maybe you might have content that's something that other people really like to watch too. It's hard because there's a lot of people making Lego content, and there's so many different little aspects of what to focus on. Generally speaking, you want to find something that's sort of like new and different, or just like you have like a style that's gonna bring something new to the table in terms of what people want to watch, or like what people have the ability to watch now, and like what can you bring to the table that people can't watch now. That's generally what you want to do, because a lot of people ask questions on like, oh, advice for a new Lego channel or a new YouTube channel, and most of the time what I feel like a lot of people mean, and sometimes people say it outright, but like, how do I get a really big channel? How do I get a channel that actually has like lots of subscribers and people like to watch a lot of? And it's like, well, make content that people want to watch a lot of. That's the main thing. And nobody knows exactly what's going to work or not work. If you look at this channel from when we first started, it was totally different style. We were playing around with what we liked doing, and we were also playing around with what we thought people also liked to watch too. And it's a combination of putting those two things together. What you like to do, what other people like to see, and you just keep working at it, because our style for our videos changed completely. Hello, Drake Hyde. Hello. Hey people, how is it all going in the Twitch chat? How is it all going in the YouTube chat? I hope you guys are having a nice, easy, whatchamacallit, easy, what is this, a Wednesday morning for us? There was crazy fog this morning. I was driving on the freeway and people were going kind of slow, which makes sense. It was really thick fog. It was surprisingly thick fog. And I was on the freeway. This guy in front of me that was getting off the off-ramp, you know, exiting the freeway, he, I guess, was just so nervous. It was a 2-lane exit, and I was driving, it's definitely slower than normal speed. And I kind of see his headlights kind of popping out from behind the clouds, and I think what's happened is maybe there's a backup. So I really slow down. I also get into the next lane to kind of go around him, but I was going at around his pace too, because I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want him, maybe he saw something I didn't, and I didn't want to just go smashing into some cars that were backed up or something. So I slowed way down, and then I realized as I passed him that he was just driving like 20 miles an hour on a freeway off-ramp, and there was nobody there. And so I passed him, and then I saw a car or two behind me passing him, like really like swerving out of the way. And it was a classic like overly cautious driver causing what could have ended up being a more dangerous situation. I was like, yo man, like I get it that it's foggy and that visibility is lower for everyone, but like, dude, if you're just like essentially stopping on a freeway off-ramp, you know, in like morning rush hour traffic, that's no good. That's more dangerous. That's gonna cause more problems than fixing them. All right, and I forgot to build Finn, by the way, so I'm gonna build Finn up and show you guys a little closer. So Finn and Phasma. Oh wait, yeah, and Finn's got a blaster pistol, but he's also got, yeah, it's whatever. It's like such a,
Oh, wow.
It's so annoying because this is like 100 less pieces than that set, and it's like, and they didn't build a head. It was like, could they have built a head? Okay. I forgot to build Finn's little
that we, like,
blaster
made a
thing.
head and a function to remove it.
That's what I was
Like,
thinking.
you know,
Yeah,
like,
they could have just made the head and then allowed you to pull it off.
And like unveil the BB-8 inside.
Yeah, that would have been so much better.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it was like they could have done so much more with this set. Finn has another little fighting weapon. I don't know what these called. Vibro blade comes to mind, but I'm not sure if that's actually what this is. Yeah, he's got himself a vibro blade for fighting Phasma with the spear. That's in the trailer. I don't consider that a spoiler. And that's the there's actually enough spare parts to make it. Wait, are there perfectly enough spare parts to make another vibro blade? Almost. They don't have another one of these. You just need another one of those white pieces. What do they call them? The dang. What's the single-eyed? The telescope piece. Yeah, there you go. All right. So let's go back up to bag number 2. Getting Rose up. Hey, Jack. Love your videos. Are you planning on making Star Wars related scene in your Lego city? Dude, yeah, my brother and I were having a long conversation about that. About what to do with the city space and the fact that we're building so many gigantic Lego Star Wars ships right now. We were wondering if we wanted to dedicate more of that table space to like a Star Wars scene. We were talking about that just the other day. So, who knows? Maybe in the future we might... Jack spoiled. Yeah, I spoiled what was already in the trailer. Yeah, and I did say in the beginning that there was going to be minor spoilers just via the context of what this set is. So yeah, right. I spoiled what it is that they're holding in their hands. I mean, at the end of the day, all the details that you see in like a Star Wars set or a MCU set or whatever, of course they're all going to be kind of spoilers because it's like, oh, this is a fighting situation or this is a something situation. Oh, they have this special item in their hand which you don't know anything about if you haven't seen the movie or something. So yeah, that's just the classic rundown of just what happens when you build these kinds of sets, and that's particularly why this set was kept secret up until the release of the movie. Basically, I think it came out like a little bit before the release of the movie, but they kept it secret through and through, specifically because this gave away slightly more details of a particular scene than I think any of the other sets generally did. Most of the other sets were just vehicle sets, so, you know, that's not really a spoiler. This, on the other hand, did have a little bit more detail involved. It still counts as a spoiler. Alright, well, I think people also get a little bit too weird about just the fact that spoilers exist. For example, when we were doing the Ghost streams, and we made the no spoiler rule, half the chat was all about spoiling, you know, scenes from the first 3 films. And I'm like, guys, you're missing the point. Which I feel like you might be missing the point a little bit right now. Like, spoilers are, you know, the main things that happen. That's the reason why you want to do it. There's big twists and turns within the plot and things people theorize about for a year or a couple years. And then those bits of information getting thrown around, that's what you want to protect against. That's the whole reason why there's spoiler alerts. And that's the reason why when you see a trailer for a movie, at this point, in general, people don't, like, a lot of the main plot points get put forward right in the beginning of most of the trailers now, because guess what? That's what audiences actually want. Movies don't do well if you don't put, like, plot spoilers into the trailer. That's just a fact. What was it? One of the most critically acclaimed sci-fi movies this last year was the sequel to Blade Runner, Blade Runner 2049. And it got amazing reviews, rave reviews, but because the director didn't want to put in too many key plot points, he wanted people coming into the movie with a fresh perspective. The trailers didn't have that much revealing information, and they didn't build up a whole lot of hype about what the heck the movie was about, and it did horribly. It lost a lot of money, lost a huge amount of money, and it was a great movie. Like, I thought Blade Runner 2049 was way better than this new Star Wars movie, but you know, it's about the hype that you can create. I feel like that's a big portion, because that's a big thing people like to complain about too. Audiences will say, "Oh, trailers, they don't, you know, there's too much. Why don't trailers just say less?" And it's like, well, the reason why trailers say more is because studios figured out that they can create better hype with bigger spoilers in the trailers. They just figured it out, so that's what they do now, because more people watch the movie. Game, set, and match. At least for the producers. Your channel is cool as ice. Yeah, it is. Lego's the best. It's night for me. Did you like The Last Jedi? The more I think about it, sort of the less I like it. That's the general feeling I feel like a lot of people have now too. You leave the theater with like a pretty enthusiastic high, and then you kind of think about it a little bit, and then you think about it a lot, and then you just sit around thinking about it, and you kind of go, man, like, actually this was weird. Which is, I think, a pretty common side effect of a lot of modern blockbusters nowadays. Is they're so well, usually they're so well paced, and they're so well, like, they're just so intense that you just get caught up in the ride, and then after the movie ends, you're like, that was weird, like, none of that made any sense. Dead spoons tell no tales. What are you talking about? My favorite is Return of the Jedi. I liked Return of the Jedi too. I'm kind of annoyed that like the hardcore Star Wars fans like to talk about how Return of the Jedi was like the bad one. Or I think actually when it first came out, it was considered critically, like, it was considered the worst of the 3 Star Wars movies also, because of like Ewoks and stuff. But I still think it's solid. I still think it's the best one. It's my favorite one. But I was watching, I can't remember if it was like Red Letter Media or if it was Screen Junkies or one of those YouTube guys, and they were just, they did a thing, or it might have been Honest Trailers. It was like Honest Trailers did a Return of the Jedi, and like they just talked about how nobody liked it that much, and it was like the worst of the original. And I was like, oh man, it's my favorite. Here we go. Okay. What are we building here? Oh yeah, this attachment point. Even the attachment point for the stud shooters in the front looks kind of tacky. Lego Star Wars is great. Yeah, see, Lego Star Wars, this is gonna be a set I'm building right now, guys. This set is gonna be famous years from now. I'm telling you, people are gonna remember this set for it being like the worst set of 2018 for Star Wars. So you guys get to be a part of history. This is a part of history right here. The sheer lack of quality. Okay, here we go. What are we building out? Nice. Okay, so this is going to attach this way. And let's get a really big piece in here. Okay. There it goes, all the way in. There it is. We're starting to build up the base of the body and the head. Nice, and this should, oh, nice. And this should all just attach right in here, shouldn't it? Oh, very cool. Will it work? Yep. That's pretty solid connection. This is the base body for the ATST. And this is the base for the head, the bottom of the head. Interesting. It's actually, whoa, this just popped right out. Oh, and you turn it in the back, I see. Right, you turn this in the back. Whoa! Grayson Palomore came in with a $5 donation for Super Chat. Thank you, sir. We appreciate the donations here. Really does help support the channel. And your question is, can you feature one of my mocks? I sent it in earlier. Well, you gotta... I don't remember which one it was. Did I do top 10 mocks this week? Mike did top 10 mocks this week. I don't know if that came in through top 10 mocks email. I don't know if it came in through one of the other emails. I would have to double check and see which one, because right now I'm not getting a clear memory on which mock it was, sir. But definitely, if you send stuff into the top 10 mocks fan page, or the BrickVault fan mocks at gmail.com, it's also, that email is in the description of all of our top 10 mocks of the week episodes we do every Sunday. If you check out those videos, the email should be there. So yeah, absolutely. If you send it in that way, it will get featured. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at this. Why does this feel a little funny? Oh, snap. Wait. I attached this to the wrong section here. That's my bad. This, I need to actually lift back off because I attached it to the wrong spot. For some reason, it looks like... Oh, I see what's going on. I see what I did wrong. I put this in the wrong spot. Got it. Don't want to build this thing wrong. There's not a whole lot of machinery, mechanical stuff to build here. I wouldn't want to do it incorrectly. Okay, this one doesn't really matter which side. Okay, there we go. But yeah, thank you for the donation, and we will check out any of those mocks. But I mean, in general, anything that gets put onto, like, let's say top 10, we make that distinction just on our own in terms of what gets put on top 10, and that's a completely merit-based system too. Sometimes we'll get emails of people being like, hey, really, like, please, 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 I want this to be one of the 10, you know. And that doesn't influence whether or not it gets put on the actual number 10 of those builds. So it just depends. And then there's also people that, like, want us to build their mock, like, via instructions. And sometimes that's nice. Sometimes we can do that. But it really just depends on what we have time for too, because we have a million giant custom things in the back burner. And, like, a lot of the things we have time, effort, space, and stuff to build things. If we built everything that people wanted us to build, it would take quite... we wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, it couldn't even be a question of if. Like, the reality is we can't. But yeah, we will definitely take a look at whatever it is you're sending in. Absolundo. Yeah, this set is a spoiler set. That's a good way to look at it. This is a spoiler set. To be fair, it's a pretty minor spoiler. This isn't like some really crazy thing. Oh, I love this new piece. This is one of my favorite new pieces. And to be fair, because I'm not a big fan of this set, there's a good chance that I might use some of these parts. The 1x3 jumper that has 2 studs. I might actually come back into this later and steal this and break this thing down. This isn't going to be a set that lasts the ages here in the studio. I'm going to tell you that right now. We are going to do a part down. I would actually be really curious. I would love to see somebody do a mock of this and build up the complete ATST. That, I think, would be a really cool thing, is to build out, because the head is slightly different. Like, that's the thing about all these new vehicles. Apparently, even the AT-ATs, if you look at them close enough from the Battle of Crate, even the heads of the AT-ATs from the First Order, not the ATM-6s, not the big gorilla ones, but the AT-ATs, they even have a different design for the head, which is, at that point, it's almost like, why bother? But, you know, it's new, so let's change the shape a little bit. So even those look slightly different from the original. So apparently these ATST heads also have a slightly different shape. Yeah, so it'd be kind of nice to see how they figure that and sort of work that in. Here we go. Ooh, I like the cannon shape design. I think it looks good. Yeah, these look really good. Let's see. Where's the other? Oh, the barrel's under the manual. Do you like building a set? Yes, I love building sets. It's very relaxing. It's very easy. It's very soothing, relaxing, soothing, easy. I don't know. Those are all kind of similar. It's nice. It's a calming experience. It allows you to remain somewhat. You know, you have to have a certain amount of focus, but on a set that's got a pretty easy building difficulty like this, you can kind of relax and just sort of let your mind wander a little bit. How is it a 2018 set if you're building it in 2017? There's a lot of reasons why. Lego, for some reason, like, technically all these sets are supposed to have their official release date for January 1st. Just about everything that's like a winter wave set is considered a 2018 set on paper. Like, if like, Brick Set's actually getting better about if you look up when sets were released, they'll also tell you the month of the year that set came out. They'll tell you pretty accurately, like, when a set came out. There we go. So there's the gun, which you can't articulate up and down. Really? You'd think you could have a jointed area where you could at least turn the gun up and down. It's actually set, and then the head is set. So realistically, you're only going to be able to move the body of this thing up and down unless you've got the only way you're going to do it. Wait, what the heck? I totally skipped these two pieces. Where the heck are they supposed to go? Let me look back at this. Oh, they're right here. Okay. Skip that. If I could choose a Star Wars Brickheads character, who would it be? Well, first we need to have the squad for Brickheads. So I can't choose just one guy. There has to be Han, Luke, Leia. I'm gonna say original trilogy, maybe New Hope clothes. But personally, I think it'd be cool if we could get them in several different outfits. We got Carbonite Han, which kind of counts. And then, and then Chewie, of course, C-3PO, R2-D2. Those guys all need to be in there. Like, hands down, those guys. Yoda. Obi-Wan would be there. I want to get all those guys. Darth Vader, come on. These all have to eventually become Brickheads characters. Like, bring in original trilogy people. I think that would be awesome. Yeah, here we go. Here's BB-8. This is the last bag, by the way, so we're knocking right through this. It's way too long, gun, IMO. Yeah, the gun's super long. It's actually, it feels like this ATSD body or head is built at a way larger scale than the Rogue One body, which I thought it was going to be sort of identical. Because you look at the legs, I saw pictures of this, and the legs look almost exactly the same. So I figured that it would be kind of the same this way around, that the body would kind of be sort of the same thing as well. Do you have the Parisian restaurant? We've got all of the creator modular sets, minus, like, I think the 2 original ones, but those ones we sort of missed out on back from the early days, and now they're way too expensive if we ever wanted to get them again, so we're not going to bother. They're very cool sets, but yeah, we haven't gotten the originals. The originals also aren't as detailed or as good looking as a lot of the more recent sets, I don't think. Yeah, I think it's like just the Green Grocer and the Cafe Corner. I think that's what they called it. Green Grocer and Cafe Corner. Those 2 sets. Wait a second. Can I just look at how this thing's built up? And that kind of attaches in. It's all kind of the same. You know what? I'm just going to build a mirror image of this. I'm building both. This isn't a ×2 because it's not technically a ×2, but I'm just going to go ahead, do mirror image. We were doing this throughout all of the other builds. For, let's say, the Ghost or something else, and once you get used to just doing the mirror image build, it ends up saving a lot of time. So this is technically not a ×2, but I'm just going to be building, you know, what I want. Okay. Let's see if I can find them all. It's going to go a lot faster, too. When does the Ghost Mock review come out? We're going to finish the review for it this week, and then it'll probably come out next week. That's what I'm thinking. Because there's been some modification stuff that we need to pay attention to. Yeah, there's some modification stuff that we need to pay attention to and sort of figure out completely. Because there's one sort of kind of central point of the mock that I don't think looks good enough yet right now. So I want to fix that completely before we actually do the review. We finished the base bit of the build, but there was a little bit to sort of still look at and work on and make look as best as possible. Have you ever tried Italian beef? No, I have not. Jack, what would we be doing if BrickVault wasn't a thing? Probably something else within YouTube. That'd be my guess. I don't know. I mean, I know what I was doing before. I probably still wouldn't be doing that, but it's a hard thing to know what you'd be doing if you weren't doing another thing. I don't know. I'd have to figure that out sort of through trial and error, I suppose, but I don't really think about that. I like what I do now, so I don't really think about other things that I would be doing, which I think is a pretty good sign that you're doing something that you like to do. You know what I mean? If you're not thinking about what you would be doing if you could be doing it, I think that's a pretty good sign to be like, oh yeah, I like what I'm doing, so let's just keep doing that. Let's see. And these ones, it should be on this. I'm doing mirror image. Is it worth getting the UCS Falcon? That is entirely up to you. Those kinds of questions are super, super subjective. There's no real way of knowing what something's going to be worth to you unless it's something that you really want. So I don't know what it is. If it's worth to you, then go for it. Somebody was saying it would probably be cheaper to build them and buy all the pieces for them and use instructions online. Maybe, maybe not. You'd have to be pretty lucky with your Bricklink orders, I think, if you really thought you could get all the pieces for the exact same price. Like I know when buying the parts for the original UCS Falcon, it wasn't really a whole lot cheaper. It's cheaper for like the original, but the original also was so inflated for collectability that it was only marginally cheaper to get the original parts and stuff online. And I have a feeling a bit of that would be the same for the UCS Falcon as well. It might be cheaper, but not as much cheaper as you might think. And then the amount of extra time, effort, and energy and work you put into getting the slightly cheaper parts, and if you were to try to put that into an hourly changeover, you'd be surprised how much it doesn't really make a big difference. Because the fact is the set's still out, so you're not getting any inflated prices. Or you shouldn't be, at least. Okay. This thing stands perfectly straight. These legs are perfectly straight up. Interesting. Jack, what's your favorite Return of the Jedi set? I like Jabba's sail barge, the latest one, the nicer one. I thought that was a cool one. The Mos Eisley Cantina, well, that's a New Hope, but I don't know. I'm trying to think. There's probably one or two that I'm not thinking of right now that are really fun. I thought the Luke versus the Emperor, like where it was kind of the whole final battle scene against the Emperor. I thought that one was pretty good. Oops, I forgot to put this little thing on the toe. Yeah, that makes sense. Ah! Dang it. Let's get it back up again. There we go. Building a couple of legs. So how's everybody's day? We're pretty good. Jack, what's your favorite? Oh, okay. Jack, would you rather have the rarest minifigure of all time or the rarest and biggest set? Rarest minifigure of all time. Because I'm pretty sure that would be the golden Boba Fett. And what's the rarest set? The rarest set is like what? The UCS Falcon? Or maybe it's probably some old set from back in the day that like probably looks really goofy but isn't that cool but is super rare and probably crazy expensive. I would still take the rarest minifigure, which would be the gold Boba Fett. When do we find out about those Platinum R2-D2s? There's a raffle for Platinum R2-D2s from the LEGO store. It's like if you sign up, then it puts you into the possible drawing of getting one of 2 Platinum R2-D2 minifigs. And I've never... I don't know when the final results for that come out. Is this the same sticker? Oh, that's annoying. It's even the same. It's the exact same build for the foot and sticker, dude. Yeah, so the legs are going to be the same as the original Rogue One ATSD. Just goes to show that this set was almost like they chose this set because of production time or something. They're like, all right, if we do this set, all we really have to do is design like 2 new minifigs and then rework the shape of the bottom part of the body. And then we don't have to do any work. And they like charge the same for like way less pieces. Ugh, it's just so aggravating that that's how they put this thing together. So aggravating. This is also like the Mos Eisley Cantina was like a less good version of the 2014 Mos Eisley Cantina. This wave of Star Wars sets, I gotta say, guys, is probably like one of the weakest waves of Star Wars sets we've seen in a really long time. Just being perfectly honest with you guys. Probably some of the worst. Like, I kind of liked the Luke training one. We built that last week. I kind of liked that one. There were some positive aspects of that. But it wasn't like amazing. I think they just did a solid job with what was a relatively small amount of parts, or a relatively non-exciting part of the movie or something. So I thought they did a pretty decent job with that. But this feels weird. This feels a little bit. This whole release cycle for Star Wars is probably one of the worst. One of the worst. I thought the last season was pretty good because we got so many of the really cool iconic vehicles. This time around though, not so much. Not so muchy. There we go. This wave, the only set from this set I really like is the new Darth Vader, I guess. You mean, yeah, from this wave. Yeah, I haven't even gotten that, or we haven't built him yet. So I don't know. I don't know what his deal is. Right, they changed the cape, which I think was great because that was like specifically one of the things that I was really complaining about from the first one. First one, the cape was like just goofily attached. I don't even know how to say that properly. It wasn't attached properly, and yeah, they fixed that, which was a nice change. They basically took notes. They fixed it with Kylo Ren, and then they just copied that over to the new Darth Vader. Okay, now here's the leg. This is really what's going to get this thing attached. Yes, we're going to do a comparison of both ATSDs at the end of the show. I've got the second one right here. Thank you for asking. The The new longer cape covering arms and second cloth piece kind of skirt. Yeah, totally. No, it's a way better design. I haven't built it yet, but the box pictures look good. And Boba Fett. So I guess this wave did pretty good for the buildable figs, but that's just one. It's like one very small aspect of the set, of the wave, I should say. Yeah, in general, the quality of this wave has just been whew. What are you guys up to? Stinky. All right, I think it's not a. Okay, yeah, it's not a 90-degree angle. I think it's one ratchet up. All right, let's get some of this outer detailing. Shouldn't be too difficult. Okay. This is going to end up right here, right? Then this is going to end up right there. Okay, easy. Barely have to think about where you're going to put these things. Oh, there. Yep, come on. It's easy to get these things put in the half stud. Do you think they should make Snoke's throne room a set? To get some Praetorian guards, yeah. Actually, they totally should. Yeah, they should. I think that's actually a really good idea. I'm just going to say in a general tone that I think that was probably a lot of people's favorite part of the movie was in the throne room. Is a pretty popular part. I think people liked it more than most other parts of the film. And yeah, and get some Praetorian guards for sure. Of course, I think that's actually that's probably the best like set idea for the Last Jedi that I've heard. Yeah, totally. Couldn't agree with you more. Trying to think. There's not really a lot of other scenes that I would care to see for you know, not wanting to go too deep into any spoiler stuff. I'm not even going to bother talking about some of the other scenes that might be worthwhile. But yeah, the throne room scene might be pretty good. I think it would be, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it more, I think that actually is a pretty decent set. Okay, so this is going to come down this way. Okay. Oh, I see. Oh. Has to be ratcheted up one more point. Right? Is that correct? Feels a little funny doing that. Is this correct? Oh, no, it's not. I was going to say. I messed that up. Bobby. Sorry, guys. Jack, you should get... Replace the head with angry Zane, and then it looks cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to mess around with, like, the collections for the Ninjago characters just yet. We have like a section in our studio where we kind of play around with all the different parts of different minifigs. We've got like a box of just random minifig parts where we can just kind of play around and make whatever combinations we think are fun or funny. But then when it gets to our minifigure collection section, we keep everything as accurate as possible, and we don't really mess around with those so much. We kind of have like different sections that sort of work and other ones that don't work as well. This seems to be like a different connection point for the way these legs are going to end up attaching to the base of the body. And this feels like it's a bigger walker. The legs are the exact same build design. I can see from the other side, it's the exact same. I'm looking at the ATST on the other side. Legs are the same. Annoyingly so. Like, they're pretty much exactly the same. Let's see. Ah! Whoa! Got a £2 donation from somebody who retracted their message. That happened 1 minute ago. What was the donation? I didn't even see it. The whoever sent the donation in must have retracted. I don't even know who it was. Oh Oh yeah, I can't even check what it was. If the person retracts their own message, then I don't even know what it looked like. Well, thank you, anonymous person. But I think if you retract, maybe it doesn't do the donation. I have no idea. It's the first time I've actually seen that. Anyways, donation fell out of the jar. Is that what happens if it like falls out? If somebody retracts, does it like, do the pieces just fall out? That'd actually be kind of funny if that's what happened. Oh, okay. This, you have a little Technic piece coming in here. Okay, this is, we're right at the last bit of pieces here. We really are. This is pretty much the end. Just a few more little sections, and then we're going to be putting both of the pieces back on. It's supposed to be a musical? What are you talking? Oh, are you talking about the next Lego movie? Yeah, that's what I heard. The next Lego movie is supposed to be a musical. They should make Ben Kenobi's house? I don't even know what it looks like so much on the outside. I'm trying to think now. Do I know what it looks like on the outside? Maybe. There we go. Okay, just a little bit more detailing now. X3, okay. We're looking at these little pins. Oh, wow. I thought these were going to be sort of flick missile type pieces. Oh wait, this is totally the exact same build on the other side too. I'm still copying over from the Rogue One set. I just wasn't realizing it. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is going to make the legs just like insanely strong. Jack, what's the rarest figure you have? Yours would probably be Zane DX. My friend gave it to me like it's nothing. Oh, snap. The rarest figure we have, we've got all of the San Diego Comic-Con figs. So some of those guys from 2013 are considered very rare. Only a couple hundred according to distribution. Apparently there's more than that. I was talking to another collector and he said that there's, even the ones that say that there's like less than 1,000, there's probably like 2,000 of them. But even then, those are probably some of the rarest ones we have. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I'm trying to think. There probably isn't a whole lot else that would be out there that could qualify as being more rare than that. Okay. So the legs... Oh, did I put this on the wrong... Yeah, I put it on the right side. Okay. Let's get that in there. There's a few more parts, though. There's no supporting... There's no supporting build yet to keep this thing from wobbling around. Okay. Okay, yeah, I can see where that's going to go. This is going to make everything hunky-dory. Okay. One part in there. And then let's get the second part in. Come on, buddy. There we go. There we go. Now it doesn't want to move at all. Oh, and it's kind of... Yeah, it's kind of leaning down a little bit, sort of in its standard mode. I can ratchet it up a little bit. Yeah, that's its sort of... Oh, yeah. If they built the rest of the head, it would be bigger than the other ATSD. Super aggravating that it's not built that way. But anyways, I could complain about that for the rest of time, and it wouldn't really matter. Wouldn't change the fact. Okay, and then this is going to be attached here. Come on. There we go. Do the same thing. There's a lot of exposed blue, which is also the same thing for the... It's also the same deal for the other ATSD. And I get that they have like sort of building standards and requirements, but they overly come on now. Why does this not want to get in there? Come on, buddy. Come on, ah! Let's try it again. This thing really doesn't want to pop in. There we go. It's just kind of getting stuck. Oh, and then I think I know what this next part is. Okay. put a little rod in there. Wait, what? Did I do this wrong? Guys, did I do this wrong? Please. Let me see. Oh, I totally did do it wrong. Guys, what am I doing? Put both of them in the wrong section because I wasn't paying attention. There we go. And yeah, it should fit into this cross piece there. Let's do that on the other side before I forget. What do you think about the new UCS Sandcrawler? Oh, the one that came out. You mean the most recent Sandcrawler? Like they're not making another one? I think the other one was pretty recent Sandcrawler. The newest Sandcrawler is awesome. The newest Sandcrawler looks amazing, I think. Here we go. And this. Oh, we have these little pieces here, which I didn't even realize existed. Okay. And what's on the other side? What the heck? Oh, interesting. Okay, so that goes on sort of the opposite direction. Alright, guys. We're there. This is it. This is the last spot right here. Ooh, I forgot to put that on. Odd. Forgot to put that on. Odd. And this is it here. This is it here, and that is it. I just built the walker, believe it or not. Add the shooters in, and we finished. Wow. Okay, so that's, I mean, technically I was mirror imaging it. Yeah, so it's done. Let me just see what it does. The leg end there. Yeah, it does. Okay, so we just finished, guys. Awesome. I'm going to do a little quick zoom out because I think the first thing I want to do when talking about this. BrickVault, have you seen the leaked blurry images of the spring Star Wars sets? No, I have not seen those. I'll check Reddit or something after the live stream and take a look, see what the heck's going on for those. But here we go. So, actually, no, I have seen some of those from a while back, but anyways. All right. Now, let's see. This is the one from last year. The one, yeah, it was just last year, the Rogue One ATST set. When you look at the legs, the only thing that's actually different about it is maybe some of the pieces that were used for detailing. That's it, though. Like no other parts were used that change up the actual structure of the legs. There's a little bit. You can see that there's 2 ratcheted joints in the back, while there's only 1 ratcheted joint in the back here. I think they figured out that the same effect can be achieved with just 1 ratcheted joint as opposed to 2. Or maybe the head here isn't as heavy, so they only needed 1 to support less Lego on the top. That might also be a factor. But even the head rotating here, even the head rotating is the same thing on this. This actually doesn't feel quite as good because there's not as much weight on top, so you have to pull this a little bit harder and it kind of pops a little bit. I don't think that has anything to do with the style in which I built it, though. But yeah, so the backs of the legs, it's all the same. They might have switched out some light gray and dark gray. I'm like looking at the feet. The feet are 100% the same, minus there's a different part, a different 2x2 modified piece on the top of one part of the foot, and there's a little 1x1 clip on the toe here, which is in dark gray, where it's in just regular light gray with the new one. But that's it. So these are like exactly the same. The legs, look at that. And then what? They changed out they left a couple of studs open on the front. In fact, when you look at it from the front, the legs on this guy look a little bit better, I think. Yeah, they totally do. There's less space. You know, maybe the designers could say that because this thing was still sort of in a kind of like in the assembly line area where the head wasn't totally attached, and that's why it fell off. They could say that this was still under construction and it wasn't as totally complete, and that's why they used less parts for the legs and it doesn't look as good. But once again, any of that just feels like a cop-out at this point. So the legs are pretty much the same. When you get beyond that, though, the connection point from the body, This is bigger. The base for the leg is wider. I also think this connection point here just looks better. I think that actually does kind of look better with the little opposing support piston or beam or whatever the heck. Yeah, then also the base of this head seems to be wider. It's pushed forward more, probably because this part of the back of the head might not have even been built at that point, but it's also just not going to be as long. This head wouldn't be as long. Such a disappointment they didn't make the head, though, and it makes this set almost feel like right off the bat, it just feels like it's just not worth it anyways. But it would be interesting to see, because when you look at the height difference, if you look at it sort of on its side, if the feet are kind of together, this rests several bricks higher. The base of the head rests about halfway up the height of this old head. So this ATSD would have been much larger than the old ATSD. And then outside of that, I mean, you can pretty much see everything else that makes it up. The detailing is fine for what it is. It's just kind of annoying. Also, not a big fan of exposed stud shots. These are pretty much the most exposed spring-loaded shots that you can get. And it would have been nicer if this was on a mounted thing, because you can have this thing look down, because that's the whole thing. That's the whole point of these play sets, is you want this to be able to look down at minifigs, and you can just move the whole body, but you really want... Oh man, I know it was popped off a little bit of the detailing, moving this ratcheted piece, getting it to bend forward. Maybe one leg at it. Whoa, wait. Oh, that's as low down as... Oh, wow. This is the lowest angle you can get. And it looks kind of deeper that way. It's actually not that low of an angle. How? Okay, this is the lowest you can get, which means this is basically the lowest you can aim. How far away do the minifigs have to be before you can actually shoot one? I think it has to be pretty far. This is... Okay, here we go. I think this is far enough. Let me see if I can hit Rose from here. Come on, Rose. Oh, actually, yeah, you totally can't hit it. There we go. So, it's not too bad. But I was also kind of bending this down a little bit just manually. So that's actually the lowest angle you can push this if you want to shoot it at a minifig on the ground, which is annoying because it would have been super easy to add a ratcheted joint to these particular guns here, and then you would have been able to bend this. Oh wait, this is ratcheted. Sorry guys, that was my mistake. It's ratcheted. Okay, that's my bad. You can ratchet it. Awesome. All right. Tiny consolation. So anyways, that's pretty much the whole thing. You're supposed to be able to put BB-8 here, which you can. Or anybody, technically, but BB-8 is kind of... He's the guy. He's the guy for the... He's the man for the job. Apparently BB-8 is like the best fighter in like the Rebellion. So yeah, so that's the whole set, essentially. It does come with this little thing. It's fine. Oh, you can't actually raise it any higher than that. Which means I guess you could get a minifig onto the ATST. I like this. This function is kind of nice. Being able to raise and lower. Here, you can't even see what I'm doing. So there's this thing. There's these open points here where you can kind of have the platform rest. It doesn't really reach the bottom. It gets close enough, I guess, and then you can put like a minifig on. Let's put Rose on. You can put Rose onto it, and then you can slide it up, and it rests there perfectly level. And then you can play around with lifting. You can twist this little gear, and the thing lifts up, or you can slide it up, and it'll rest at the higher point, and then it lifts the gear up or down, and then you can lift it to the highest point here, but then the arm is locked, which I guess makes sense because if there's a little stud here that would prevent you from doing anything. Yeah, so not bad. Let me just move this over there. Okay. All right. We also had some followers on Twitch, so thanks guys for following. That was Albin Tirentiar, thank you. Bug Maker, Beluga has followed. And Choosy 1403 also has followed. So anyways, thank you guys. So there's this thing, but it doesn't, I mean, if you look at it from the side, it's like all exposed Technic pinholes, which I suppose does work for some bits of detailing. For like mechanical basic detailing, it does kind of make sense, but it makes sense within the context of there being other built stuff around it. This is all just exposed Technic. Technic beams on the side, a lot of blue Technic pins, which kind of look even worse contrasted with like mostly what is black here. So I think the detailing for this doesn't like look, I mean, this whole thing is just, it's a very unpretty build. If I had to say anything, it's not a very pretty looking build. This function works fine, but this is like a little consolation, especially considering, you know, they sold a set that had over 100 more pieces than this for the same price, which was the ATSD. If I actually look at the stats, this ATSD from last year sold for the exact same amount, $40. It was 449 pieces. This set is 370 pieces. If you didn't make this and you made it like 450 pieces, you could pretty much make another head. You could make a head for pretty much the same amount of parts as last time, charge it the same amount, and then you could have a full ATST and not this. And I think the reason why they didn't do that, this is my own guess, but they're like, oh, we already made an ATST set, let's make this one different. And you're like, no, or you just don't make this set at all. This is a set that basically shouldn't have existed. But here, let's point out the minifigs. Let's go through the minifigs, and then I will give you my final thoughts. Boom, you subscribed. Welcome. Thank you. Jumping on in. Let's show off the figs. So Rose is standing here, so let's show her off first. Can I turn this light up anymore? Not really. Sorry, I was just playing with the light. Okay, yeah. There we go. That's better. So here's Rose. I think she's the second character to be in any sort of blue First Order outfit. I think they had one other minifig that was an actual First Order minifig, not somebody who's in disguise. I do like this. I do like her hairpiece. The hair that kind of flips out, Rose's hair that flips out, and she's got a little ponytail sticking out the back. I don't know if they've got like a hair dress code thing in the Empire, but apparently not for her. So she's kind of got the angry face and a pretty, you know, just, I guess there's a little smirk because she's got the little fold in the cheek there. She's kind of maybe got a smirk going on, and that one's like a little bit more aggravated. Good hair hat mold. Decent enough print. I mean, there's nothing special necessarily about the print, but the body print certainly is exclusive because it's got the sort of the female negative space for the hips. Here's Finn. And what's cool about this guy is it's not gray. This is actually metallic. So it's shiny, like slightly shiny metallic. This is what maybe the same mold plastic would be done for the resistance guns or something like that. The blast rifles for the resistance troopers. Finn, I think he's got the same couple. Oh, he's just got the one expression. That makes sense actually, because he's got this hat. So just the one expression for Finn, which might actually make it an exclusive print maybe, because there's the one. But yeah, nothing too crazy about him. The detailing, I believe, is special. That's a print detail that's different. And his vibro blade doesn't look very close to what it looked like in the movie, but once again, there it is. I believe also this detail print for the top of the hat. Focus. The detail print for the top of the hat, that is also special just to this character. So, specially made head molds for both of them, specially printed forms for the body. I'm surprised that Finn is molded in this sort of dark metallic titanium or whatever the heck they try to call this particular mold. I'm surprised that they didn't make other Imperial troops in that color, because he's the first one. Because technically he must have just stolen, you know, the outfit from some random guy in the base. But yeah, it's interesting that that's not the case, that you don't see any other versions of the First Order officers like that. Here's Phasma. Phasma's better. Phasma's still the coolest looking character. This is the exact same mold. Everything about her is exactly the same as the original Phasma that we got from 2 years ago. They even didn't bother to put a face on her. Again, just like last time, just a black head. Because I mean, I don't want to say anything in the movie, but you know, yeah, there's no face for her in this minifig form. This is the old Phasma. There is a slight divot deviation by the nose, which I think is a mold mistake for this newer version. I think it's supposed to be 100% the same as the old Phasma. I'll have to double, triple check, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's this little pointy bit on the nose there, where the nose would be, that isn't here for this figure, which I pointed out in the beginning. I think it's just a mold mistake. It should be the exact same figure. The only thing that comes with her that's different is she's got this sort of double spear pointed thing, which is cool. Very cool, just different. This is her cape. Once again, it only comes on the Phasma fig. I don't think they're going to be releasing another character with that same Phasma cape. And yeah, cool fig. Still a cool fig, but you know, there's nothing actually that special about her. Yes, and BB-8. Here we go. Sorry, BB-8. Last guy. Same BB-8 that we always get. I'm surprised that we haven't gotten any variations of prints on him yet. We didn't even get a different Santa Snowman BB-8 from the other series, and I basically stopped trying to compare him with other versions of himself because I don't think there's never any differences between the prints on his body. They just kind of keep on producing BB-8 in like a bunch of different sets. If you have one BB-8, you have any of them, basically. So those are the 4 figs. This is the little thing. I'm going to zoom this out. Boom, boom, boom. The stream is finishing up, guys. It is. So, once again, this is 370 pieces. 370 pieces for the whole set. It's $40 US, where it's like, okay, 2 exclusive figs, you know, decently big characters from the story. Phasma is always a cool character, just in terms of visually how she looks. So figs are fine for what this set size and price is. The main problem is, this thing is whatever. It doesn't look good. It functions to what it's supposed to do. It's actually, it doesn't get as high as it should. At the highest possible point, you can kind of have a minifig sort of come off onto the leg a little bit, but like, you know, not even really. So this, you know, is a logistic. It functions fine for what it is, but it looks ugly. And this also looks okay, I guess. This main part here looks whatever, but it's an incomplete build. They gave you an incomplete set on purpose in a weird way. That's what it feels like. And it, yeah, so I don't know. I would say, very rarely do I say this. In fact, I never say this, but I basically say this set, it really isn't worth it. Not in my book. And compared to some of the other sets that came out for this particular wave, this feels like one of, like, the Mos Eisley Cantina and this set, along with like some of the other ones, maybe weren't that bad, but none of them were like really particularly great. I would say that, yeah, this set along with 1 or 2 other ones has made it probably one of the worst Star Wars waves in quite a long time. So, sorry to say, but that's my opinion on this set. I'm going to switch it back to this camera. Alright guys, so that was it. That was a pretty quick live stream. We're only up for an hour and a half. And I already prefaced the beginning of this build being like, I'm not going to like it that much, because guess what? These 2 guys cost the same in set. They both cost the same, but you get almost 100 more parts in this particular set. I thought the minifigs were just as cool in this set, if not cooler, because you get the Baze Malbus with the big gun, and I can't remember who were the other figs that came in the set. You got Baze Malbus, and yeah, and you get a Rebel Trooper and then just an Imperial Trooper. But anyways, yeah, the year before we got a set that was way better, way better. In fact, it was one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite sets that's come out in the last 3 or 4 years with Star Wars, and then this is probably one of my least favorite sets that's come out in the last 3 or 4 years from Star Wars. So those are my contrasting differences, and it's like, it's because you didn't get a full vehicle. It's like, why? Nobody can explain this to me properly. It just shouldn't have happened. But, you know, figs are fine. That's it. I don't know. Like, I would suggest another. Hey, Jack, the metallic officer uniform was in the first order start. Oh, was it? Metallic. Oh, you know what? It might have been. I didn't actually review that one. That was one that Mike built, and maybe I just didn't look close enough at the minifigs that came out. I assumed it was gray. Thank you for pointing that out, Jamie. I don't get everything right, guys. Apparently this metallic officer uniform did appear to some capacity in the mold. I'm still sure that the print for the torso is probably the same or probably exclusive for Finn. I hope it is. But all right. Oh, see you, Brick Star Wars boy. Sorry if you asked any questions. I was kind of just going off on a tangent. So anyways, figs are fine. Phasma should have had a face. But other than that, they're fine. All right, so that's it. It's a quick, easy stream to start off the... It's not the new year yet, but we were off for a few days. That's why there was nothing coming on for the channel. So anyways, we were off for a bit. We're back. This was a fun and easy set. And I think, I'm positive, we're going to be starting the AT-AT live streams. Mike is going to be finishing off the AT-ACT, and right next to me, literally right next to me, I've got all this stuff, which is, look at this, we got battery packs, we've got some mode switches, and tons of these. These are the different lights. I think there's two separate LED lights that are attached per switch, and we have, I can't remember. I think it's like five of these switches per walker, which means 10 separate lights are going to be able to switch up all around the body, which is going to be awesome. So anyways, so those big walkers are getting finished this week. They're getting lit up this week, and we're going to have a fully fleshed out review video for them probably next week. So yeah, so that's what's up. So we have some, yeah, and UCS Go, Ghosts Go, UCS Go, Teen Titans Go. UCS Ghost is also getting edited this week as well. I'm finishing off another edit for another series of custom Star Wars mocks that are also going to be put up on our web store. Those are, I haven't even mentioned those, and I haven't done a live stream for those, but I was building those, and I finished them, and there's going to be a review for another new design, set of 2 new designs for Star Wars ships, minifig scale. They're going to be up in the store, and there's going to be a review for them this week before you see the Ghost or the Walkers, which is cool. This is also something that we were working on sort of behind the scenes. That's going to be it, though. So that's it. That's everything. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed hanging out. And cool. We're going to have some more custom building starting tomorrow. So awesome. All right. Thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. Hope you had a wonderful holiday season, and we will see you next time at BrickVault.